Welcome back to Sahaja Yoga's 21-day Going Deeper series. If you're new to meditation or Sahaja Yoga, welcome. We're so glad that you're here joining us. If it's your first time, we're going to ask you to please click that chat wherever it is down there button and just put I'm new, and then you'll be invited to join a breakout room so we can bring you up to date. And if you are joining us, coming back from the 21 Days Sahaja Yoga's Meditation Challenge, welcome back. In a minute, we're going to give you an overview of the Going Deeper course and series. But first, let's introduce our lead meditation leads and our live musician. Our leads tonight are connecting us from coast to coast again. So we have Mark Taylor, who is joining us from the Atlantic coast, and Kerry, who's joining us from the Pacific coast. Did I get that right? Hi, Mark and Kerry. Can you guys please introduce yourselves to the group tonight?
Okay, this is Mark in New Jersey, and I have lived on the West Coast. I've lived in Vancouver and San Diego, and I've also lived in New York and New Jersey. So I'm a coaster, and I've tried coasting in Sahaja Yoga, and it does require a little dedication sometimes to remember to meditate every day.
Definitely.
I've been doing it for a really, really long time, and I was really blessed to learn it in India initially. So I really got to see the roots of the ancient yoga teachings of Sahaja Yoga. And I'm very happy to be here tonight.
Lucky you. Thanks, Mark. Hey, Kerry.
Good evening, guys. How are you? Nice to be back with you guys again after it's only been a month, but it seems like yesterday. So I'm coming from the West Coast, as they said, and I live in San Francisco Bay Area, and I've been practicing Sahaja Yoga for quite a number of years as well. And I came in London when I was in college, and now I work and I have kids and busy life, and I'm really happy to share Sahaja Yoga with anybody who wants to learn.
Thanks, Kerry and Mark. And also tonight we have a live musician, so a very special guest. His name's Kalyan. And Kalyan, can you please tell us a little bit about your instrument and maybe the song you're playing tonight?
Sure, Kathy. So I play the violin. The instrument is the same as the Western violin, but what I play in it is the Indian classical music, and I really love playing for meditation programs. It really helps me also deepen my state of meditation. And today, since the theme is the central channel, I will be playing Rag Jog. That really helps for the central channel.
Can't wait. Yes, I remember hearing you in the 21-day course. It was just beautiful. So we're in for a special treat tonight. So at this time, we're going to give you a moment to go get your foot soak bowl's ready, but if you are new and if you're just joining us, this is your first time and you're still here, just be patient to be assigned to a breakout room. And if you see that join breakout room button, just go ahead and click that, and you'll be admitted to a breakout room. And for everyone else, we'll see you back in a minute with your foot soak bowl.
So welcome, fellow foot soakers. As we learned in our first 21 days, an amazingly effective and simple technique to help clear ourselves out of negative energy and enter a state of silence and enjoyment of the meditation is foot soaking. So even as we speak, I've got my feet in a plastic basin, and I've got a rinse container nearby and a towel to dry my feet. And just a reminder as to why we're here doing this course, it's because we are seeking something. So we can always remember, what am I doing here? What am I seeking? And that will help to clarify the whole purpose of attending a 21-day intensive course. We've completed 21 days, and believe it or not, it just gets better and better. It just gets stronger and deeper and more amazing. So as we continue, you're going to expand your understanding, and you'll learn more techniques. And you can always invite friends and neighbors, people you meet in the grocery store. New people are always welcome. We always have a breakout room for a new person so that they get a little bit of a, what are we up to? And they get up to speed pretty quickly. So let's begin a short meditation with our feet in the water. And we're going to focus on the central channel today. As we learned in the first 21 days, we have 3 channels of subtle energy within us, and we'll be focusing on those first 3 channels in our first 3 days of this session. So I'm set up, I've got a candle, and I've got a photograph of Shri Mataji. And so together we can raise our Kundalini. That's with our left hand like this in front of the sacrum bone, and the right hand is going to go down the outside, up the inside, from the top, down the outside, up the inside, starting at the sacrum bone. So let's raise up our Kundalini. When we get to the top of our head, we're going to spin our wrists and tie a knot. And we'll do that a second time. And some of us old timers tie 1 knot, and some of us tie 2 knots. And then we can raise it a 3rd time. And we all tie 3 knots the 3rd time. Then we give ourselves a bandhan or protection. So that's the right hand goes over to the left hip. And it comes up over the top of the head, all the way down to the right hip. And then back, a return trip back to the left hip. That's 1. And we'll do 7 bandhans. And then we can rest our hands on our lap. And we can look at a photograph of Shri Mataji, which we can put on the screen now if you don't have one with you. And then we just begin to bring our attention inside. So we can either keep looking at the photograph or we can close our eyes and just let our attention go inward, focus on our breathing. That'll help to bring the attention into this present moment. Some of us have already stopped thinking because with the practice of the first 21 days, some of us now can get into complete silence very, very easily. But also things happen during the day or happen in the world out there that do have an effect on us and can distract our attention. So sometimes we do a little working on our central system to balance it out, and that allows us to have a very satisfying meditation. So we can put our right hand on our stomach, on the navel, and rotating around this center is the second center. So to help get our attention on that second center, we can move our hand down about an inch or so and press on the abdomen just below the navel. And a lot of us live in a culture where it's just keep doing, keep moving, keep thinking, keep planning. And without any kind of way to balance ourselves out, we can get really exhausted. So luckily, we've learned how to awaken our own mothering energy, the Kundalini. And now we invite this inner mother, this power of love, to please nourish our second center. And in a sense, recharge our batteries. Now take our right hand and place it in the center of our chest on the sternum bone. And as we've learned, this is the chakra we call heart chakra. Some people call it anahata. It has many important enlightened qualities. And in the central channel, this gives us our sense of solidity, of firmness, gives us our fearlessness. We can help to clear this center by using air. And we do that by inhaling, take a breath, hold it, and then release. And you do it according to your own ability to hold the breath. No one is to get blue in the face. So inhale, hold the breath, let the breath out. Do that about 4 times. And just notice if you're thinking or if you've become silent inside. And our goal is to get above all the thoughts, all the concerns, all the imaginative things that are in our mind that aren't even real and yet can make us very disturbed, very upset. So let's take our right hand, place it on top of our head. We can just keep the palm there by lifting up the fingers and the thumb. You'll feel there's a slight pressure created when we lift up all the fingers. And here we can say, I want to be in a state of meditation. We can keep our attention in the palm of our right hand and raise our right hand up in the air. We use the hands in Sahaja Yoga because our attention can be kind of wobbly sometimes, speaking personally. So using a hand helps to guide the attention and kind of steady it. Now we see what we feel in our right hand. Some people will feel cool, some warm, some won't feel anything in particular, and all of that is fine. But it's how we assess how we're progressing, how we're clearing ourselves out, just by just feeling what we call our vibrations. And rest our right hand on our lap, place our left hand on top of our head, stretch the fingers up a bit so that just the palm of the left hand is on top of the head. The right hand is resting on the lap with the palm up. Now we raise the left hand up and see how we're feeling. Is it silent? And then we can rest our left hand on our lap as well. And we can sit for another 2 minutes together in the silence. You can either have your eyes closed, or if it's comfortable for you, you can open your eyes and look at the photograph of Shri Mataji. And just see if you can look at the photograph without any thought. So we'll continue to meditate together, and I'll tell you a little bit about the central channel. We can now take our feet out of the water, rinse them off, and dry them. So for me, the essence of understanding the central channel is awareness of the balance that we have to maintain in our lives. So we'll sometimes feel as if we're being pulled in different directions. We're getting stuff happening from our past, things that are pulling us into the past, into our emotions. And sometimes we're just completely in the future. What's going to happen? What will happen? Thinking about things that may or may not be actually going to happen in the future. And so with all these pressures on us, demands of family and job, keeping our heads above water financially, being an active and caring member of our society, being a good member of our family, it's always a matter of keeping balance. So sometimes I'd arrive at work, because I was a classroom teacher, and before I would open the door of the school, I would just pause, and I might even give myself a bundan 7 times, and just see that I am in the center. I'm going to be in balance today. And my attention is going to be nice and quiet. And that's going to help me deal with all the surprises, unexpected things, all the challenges that are going to happen during the day. And then in the moment, somebody might be asking you a question, and you realize that you're answering the question from a center point in a very sensible and beautiful way. You're expressing things that people need to hear and are eager to hear, and you do it combining your heart and your mind in balance. So as we progress, practicing Sahaja Yoga, we'll start to notice that our sensitivity increases, and we'll start to be more aware of the state of vibrations, either our own state of our chakras and the vibrations of a situation, of a place. And we also can start to see how Sahaja Yoga starts to be more and more part of our daily life. So me becoming a teacher for a few hours and then no longer being a teacher because now I'm outside the classroom, and now I'm a husband, or now I'm a son, now I'm a brother, now I'm an uncle, now I'm a shopper. So we all have these different roles we play during the day. And can we just see how keeping our attention very quiet, very much in the present, helps us to get through the day in a very balanced, efficient, and joyous way. And then we start to realize how powerful we are and the choices that we're able to make in our lives. That when we keep maintaining our attention in the center, we realize that yes, this could pull me way off balance. This could take me into a place where I'll be climbing out covered in mud. Or this will take me into a place in which everybody around me will be really upset with me because I'm so aggressive. And so always the goal is looking for that center point, day by day, moment by moment. And then we find out that the things that used to get in our way somehow just aren't there when we are silent, when we're in that meditative state, even while we're going through the day. So sometimes I think of myself as just like on a balance beam. Sometimes it feels very narrow. And then it requires to imagine there's like a string or something, keeping the posture nice and steady and the attention nice and steady. So let's just sit for one more minute Am I in the center? As I said earlier, I was very, very privileged to be part of a small number of people from Western countries, Europe and North America, who got a chance to travel through Maharashtra and other states in India in the company of Shri Mataji herself. And she did most of her work in the villages, where the people, farmers and other people in the villages recognized her as a great saint, and everybody would turn out and you'd be sitting at a program and only later realize that you'd been sitting in the road, that it was very rustic. And they somehow found a shed or some kind of a building where they could put a chair and have Shri Mataji sit a little bit higher so everyone could see her. And then she would say in Marathi, sometimes in Hindi, everybody put their hand over their head, and then you would look around and you see this sea of people, maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people at a time, all feeling something and appreciating her for her great contribution to their evolution. So we're so lucky that we've been able to record her videos. So what's going to happen next is we're going to have Kalyan play some amazing music to help sustain our meditation. And before that, we're going to enjoy a video excerpt of one of Shri Mataji's talks. She lived in London for many years, and so she gave quite a few programs in London. And this is one of those programs. So let's just keep our hands out and enjoy.
I bow to all the seekers of truth. At the very outset, we have to understand that truth is what it is. We cannot conceptualize it. We cannot organize it, and we cannot use it for our own purposes. Moreover, with the blinkers on both the sides like a horse, with all our conditionings, we cannot find the truth. We have to be free people. We have to be open-minded people, like scientists, to see for ourselves what is the truth. If somebody preaches something, professes something, says something, is not to be accepted blindfolded. As I told you yesterday, that the essence of all the religions is to find the eternal and to treat the transitory in its own understanding and in its own limitations. That's why we have lost our balance. If we are really the people who want to know the truth, we have to know that at human awareness we cannot know it. It becomes a concept. You have to have the spiritual awareness, but spiritual awareness is a state of your being, where you become the spirit. Again the word I'll say become is not artificially certifying somebody that now you have become a Hindu or a Christian or a Muslim, you become anything. Because you may be a Muslim, Christian, Hindu, anything, you can commit any sin. You can do anything that is wrong. Nothing from inside is going to stop you. So all these things have become so much outward that now there are people who have started saying there is no God, there is nothing like religion, which is not true. First of all, when we say there is nothing or there is not God, we should find out. Have we been able to find out about it, or just in our ego we are saying there is no God? Have we been able to work it out to see if there is God or not? You do not judge God by the people who talk about God. Anybody can talk about God because they think there's no law that can catch them. They can talk against Him, they can talk for Him, they can do the way they like. They can even make money by talking against God and against all the prophets. That's a very good way of making money, blackmailing. But does that mean that whatever is written is a Bible? Or whatever is black and white is to be taken that seriously? So first of all, we have to be little independent, to be free, to know that if you have to know the Spirit, as they said, know thyself, then you have to know it on your central nervous system. As I can feel this is cold or hot, you have to feel the divine power which is all-pervading, which is the truth, which manifests the truth because it is the love of God. You have to first feel it on your central nervous system, which is the Bodha. Now one may say that in the West we have advanced so much, all right, we have gone too far with everything. But if you see, when we started with science, what have we produced? Hydrogen bomb, atom bomb, all kinds of devils sitting on our heads. You take to any enterprise that we take, we go to extremes. There is no balance. Any mental projection is linear. It moves in one line and then recoils back, and then you are shocked. Now you have got acid rain, you produced machinery, all right. Machinery is for you, you are not for machinery. And thus there is no balance between you and the machinery, no balance between you and the science. It's just like going amok with anything that you get into your hand. And this balance you can only have when you become the Spirit. You see beautiful chandeliers here, beautifully made, but unless and until there is light, what is the meaning of these chandeliers? Nothing. In the same way, if you do not have the light of the Spirit shining in your attention, you will not know your meaning. Like this instrument. Unless and until it is connected to the mains, it is useless. Unless and until we are connected to the mains, we do not know the Absolute. And that's why all these problems are there. Now, when I am talking about this instrument which lies within us, one has to again know that this is the knowledge of the roots. And to know the knowledge of the roots, you have to become a subtler personality. With a gross mind, you cannot see it. To become the subtler personality, minimum of minimum, you have to know that so far you have not known the roots. If you had known, there would be no problem. But there's something has gone wrong somewhere. In every human enterprise, even in religions, that's why today we find this kind of a farce going on. And what is gone wrong is that we have to seek the eternal. Maybe it might look little different. For example, Buddha and Mahavira did not talk about God at all. I also did not talk about God for 4 years, at least 3 years. As soon as you talk of God, again people start jumping. When can we become God? This is the first question. So first you become the self, the first step. That's why they did not talk. They said first you become yourself. Unless and until you have your eyes, how can you see the colors? So first have your eyes. It is for your benevolence that you better get what you deserve. What is your own? Is your birthright as a human being to become the spirit. That is what Sahaja Yoga is. Saha means with and Jai is born. Born with you is the right. To get this yoga is the union with the divine.
We'll continue to stay in meditation and absorb the vibrations from the talk.
Thank you so much, Kalyan. That was incredible. And our Kundalini and our spirit, thank you for the music. Before we move on to the next meditation, guided meditation, let's take a moment just to close our eyes again. With our hands open, we just see what we feel. So with our eyes open, I just wanted to just review and remind everyone that we can have a space in our home, a lovely space where we come again and again to nourish our spirit. And you can have the photograph in a frame, and I love to put flowers, as you've seen. All of us like to put flowers, and they have amazing vibrations, and the colors are inspiring, and the fragrance, they all work with our chakras. And a lighted candle. So if you haven't yet, we'll give you that resource later on today. If you're brand new, you'll see that we have a resource so that you can get a photograph of Shri Mataji. And I just invite everyone to try it and see how you feel. And I'm going to face my photograph now. And we can take off our glasses. If we're wearing our glasses, we won't need them. And let's go back into that meditative space by closing our eyes. Feet are a little bit apart from each other on the floor. So when you meditate on your own, you just keep it simple. And tonight, we're talking about the central channel, which is the channel of our growth and balance. So to begin with, we can just lower both of our arms so that our hands are just dropped towards the Mother Earth. And we can put our attention on the first center. And here we're just asking the Mother Earth to give us that strong foundation that will support our meditation. And we thank the Mother Earth, as we really need this earth element. Now we can bring our hands up into our lap. And we're just going to take our right hand and place it just below the navel. As Mark had indicated, this is the second center. And here we can ask for inspiration. For the pure knowledge and the creativity. And we're just asking the Kundalini to open up these qualities within us. So our attention is inside. And just notice we're not concentrating. So our forehead is relaxed and the space between the eyebrows, as we're just gently being aware of the center where our hand is. Now we can take our right hand and move it to the top of the abdomen in the center where the solar plexus is. You can press your fingers a little and then breathe into your tummy. So you can feel the rising and falling of the breath against your hand. And then just slide your hand over and just keep it relaxed at the top of this center. Just slowing down the breath. And here we're asking, Mother, please give me self-mastery. Then we'll just take our hand and move it away from our body about 3 to 5 inches, and we'll just move our hand towards the left, down to the second center, and then up again. Just moving in a circle around the abdomen, slowly. And here we're asking for the balance. Which allows the Kundalini to move through the center. Okay, we can stop and just place our hand back to the top of the abdomen. And take a breath, and as you exhale, you can just ask for a deep sense of well-being that comes from within. Now as we move up the center channel, can place our hand on the center heart again, which is where the sternum is. And a big deep breath again. We can pull our shoulders back for a stretch through the heart and exhale. And here we can say, Mother, please give me the inner strength. And then we can just move our hand away and turn it into a small fist, and we will tap, light tapping just around clockwise circle on the sternum bone. And then we can stop. And breathe in. Pause and then exhale. Let's gently place our right hand at the base of our throat for this fifth center. And just keep your attention here across the shoulders. And here we can ask for our connection, our connection to one another and to the universe. You can say, let me see an expanded vision of myself and my connection with the whole. Now for the Agya, We can place our hand across our forehead, and here we can just bow our head down slightly. And we can say, I forgive myself, and I forgive everyone else. And we can move our hand away from our forehead and just drop our hand to our lap and just open our eyes, and we can watch the bindi or the red dot at the center of Shri Mataji's forehead. Just keep your hands open. We can do it without thinking. And then we can take the center of the palm and place it on the Sasrara, the seventh center, which opens our connection to this state of meditation. Let's slowly raise our hand up and keep our attention in that space between the top of the head and the palm of the hand. And relax our arms back into our lap with the palms upright and our attention just in that space above the head. There's no thought. Just pure awareness. can breathe in. And as we exhale, we can open our eyes. And let's go up the center again with our attention. Again, attention is not concentration, but it's an awareness, a presence, and you direct it where you want it to go. So we put our right hand at the base of our torso and we can raise the Kundalini from the bottom of the subtle system all the way up to the crown of our head. Together with our hands, our attention is moving. The Kundalini all the way through the central channel up to the Sahasrara. You can always do this anytime. You can always just use this very simple technique with your attention to keep yourself balanced and keep your attention in the center. So with that, we're going to close that meditation with the tying of the Kundalini. Just winding it up to the crown of the head, left channel. And then we do one for the right channel. And the third channel is really the synthesis of all three. So on the third channel, we tie the 3 knots. And your intent is really asking the Kundalini and your attention to stay up there. And we can protect all the centers with a nice bandhan. Do it 7 times. And if your attention starts to drift off into thoughts during the meditation, it's very common, and you can just keep bringing your attention back. As soon as you notice, bring your attention back to the top of the head. Or you can watch your breathing. So now we are going to once again remind you all that the foot soaking at home is going to be your best friend, especially after being out and about or thinking quite a lot. And once you get into this discipline, you'll find that you can't do without it. And it helps in every way. It particularly helps the lower 3 chakras, and you'll sleep well. And it's much easier for everything to clear and for you to get into that awareness, thoughtless awareness state. So very simply, you only need a dishpan. Lukewarm water is fine. And you just take a handful of salt. You don't need too much. And the towel in the rinse water. And we can stay in the foot soak for 10 or 15 minutes and then dispose of your water in the toilet. Rinse out your little pan. And only use that for meditation purposes. Just assign that pan just for your foot soaking. And when you foot soak, you don't need to do too much. Just keep your hands open. You can look at the photograph of Shri Mataji for a few minutes and then close your eyes. And it really does the work on its own for the most part. But we'll add other techniques as we move forward that you can always do while you're foot soaking. But a good foot soak and a quiet meditation at the end of the day sets you up for the next day as well, because you don't have that backlog of negativities and tensions in your system. It's all clear when you wake up for the next meditation in the morning. All right. I'll hand it over to Kathy now.
All right. Thank you so much, Kerry. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, sounds great, Kathy.
All right. That was a wonderful meditation, Kerry,
Yeah.
and the music was really, really lovely tonight, Colin and Mark. That first meditation was wonderful as well. So thank you guys. It's always hard to finish this part because I'm in such a, state here. But I am the MC and that's my job to talk. So I do want to say tonight we are going to have our feedback session as usual. And so hang on, and we are going to try to make it a half an hour tonight instead of going on and on and on, just to kind of respect our East Coast um, people on the East Coast so we can kind of get on a good sleep schedule for this next 21 days. So let's go to our where we can get all of our live YouTube sessions. If you missed one, if you want to review any of the sessions from the last 21-day challenge, and if you want to get any more handouts on how to do foot soak, where if any of your fingers vibrations that charts, so you can get those as well. So we can open up that website, freemeditation.com.au, March 2022. And we're simply going to go to the See All Resources section. So that's going to be at the bottom. There we go. We just click on See All Resources, and yeah, the daily session handouts, and you can see all the resources, how to do a foot soak, the channels, our subtle system, how to use ice packs, how to use candles. So anything that you need to brush up on. Of course, also, like Kerry said, we encourage you guys to experiment and try to improve the vibrations. See if you can feel the vibrations of Shri Mataji's photo. And if you can print it out and put it in your meditation space, see how that improves the vibrations of your space and allows you to get in a state of deeper meditation. So also, up at the top, we have where you can get that video of tonight. If you want to replay today's video, we can just click on the location here, the YouTube, and let's see what else. Oh, and if you're new and you want to join a WhatsApp group, we'll show you where that resource is as well. So just go into the chat below here, and you can click on the chat button and click and join a WhatsApp group. And the benefit of that is there's a whole community of all the members from the 21 guided meditation or meditation challenge that are on there. And so we ask questions during the day, and they ask questions, and the Sahaja Yoga practitioners answer those questions live throughout the day. And also, you can request a mentor as well. Now, what is a mentor? Now, a mentor is a Sahaja Yogi practitioner that is there for you whenever you want to ask a question, if you need advice, or if you just have a quick question. So it's just to help you grow deeper into your practice of Sahaja Yoga meditation and develop your understanding. And of course, everything's always free in Sahaja Yoga, so we're never going to ask you to pay. So this is all free. This is all on a volunteer basis. If you would like to request somebody special that you know that's a Sahaja Yogi, please put their name in it, and in the mentor form and the survey form, which you're going to find in the chat group or chat right there as well. So make sure you include your name and your phone number, name and either your phone number or your email or both, so your mentor can get a hold of you and start that process. And if you already have a mentor, but maybe you just want another mentor or want a different mentor, this is your choice. You are your own guru, so you know what's best for you. So exercise that. and that authority, and go ahead and ask for another mentor. It's no big deal. Just put in the group, we'd like to change mentors. Okay, so what else do we have? Oh, so let's go ahead and start our feedback session. And for our Spanish speakers, put in the chat that you would like to be put into a breakout room that with a Spanish speaker speaks Spanish, and we will get you into that breakout room. And so in the interest of time tonight, if you do have any kind of question that's general, please stay in the main room, and we'll get to you as soon as possible. If you have a very specific question, or maybe you want to spend a little more time, maybe or maybe a little shy or a little private, please also ask to join a breakout room, and we'll go ahead and put you in a breakout room with a Sahaja Yogi prayer, so you can get that question answered effectively. Or maybe if you just have to leave a little bit earlier and you can't wait your turn, please take advantage of that resource. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start our feedback time and questions and answers. And if you have any questions, you can, again, just put your hand up in there. It says raise your hand somewhere. And also, you can also type it in chat, and we'll be monitoring the chat room tonight. So if you can't wait your turn, just go ahead and put that question in chat, and we'll get to you right away, or as soon as we can. And so we are going to have Kerry and Mark and our musician, Kalyan. Hey, that was wonderful and beautiful music, by the way, Kalyan. Thank you so much for that. The vibrations were really amazing as usual. So great. So let's go ahead and start with our questions tonight. We have Victoria. Oh, go ahead, Victoria. I accidentally muted you. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to ask. Yeah, go ahead.
I just unmuted myself. Yeah, we were trying to both unmute at the same time, I think.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, everybody. I ended up starting late because I was trying to bring a friend in who's new. And so I joined the meditation late and was just catching up in my own way. But what I experienced happening was pretty profoundly remarkable. I was trying to recollect all of it, how it happened. I came in on just shortly before Shri Mataji's talk. She's talking about the central nervous system. And I had just kind of started my own meditation in foot soak. I immediately, this is very unusual for how my meditations have been going, I immediately had the cool breeze all through my hands and around my hands, and waves of coolness through my whole body. And I felt like my central nervous system was doing the communication directly somehow, like it matched her talk about the central nervous system somehow. And then the music started, and during the music, thank you so much for this music. During the music, the intensity of the coolness continued, so that I was feeling actually very chilly. Mm-hmm. And the coolness was coming in waves, and my teeth began chattering. But I wasn't chattering out of, how when you're cold and you just really are chattering, mm-hmm. cold, your teeth. It wasn't that. It was very subtle. It was this very subtle chattering, clicking of my teeth that was so subtle. And my breathing patterns were changing. I felt like the breathing was being directed up and up and up and up and up. And I was just moving with it slowly. And then it was just in this chattering, this clicking of the teeth, and it would rise up and then it would just kind of release. And so I was just letting everything happen. And this coolness just kept happening persistently through the whole thing until the end, when I finally sort of settled and decided, I put you on mute because I was just not in sync with what was happening, and I decided just to stay with whatever this was. Mm-hmm. And so then I ended up just working a little bit on my left channel, and and just, doing the raising the Kundalini again. And when I did, I just got more and more waves of the chill, coolness. And then I closed the bandhan. But I wondered what this teeth, chattering thing was, and if that's connected with the Vishuddhi, or if you know what this phenomena is, because I don't understand it all, but I just trusted it, whatever it was.
Yeah. Well, I've had some pretty interesting things happen to me too, but I've never had the teeth chattering. Kerry or Mark or Kylan, have you guys ever had anything like that? Or maybe you want to speak to Victoria's
No,
question?
I haven't heard of it, but it's definitely Vishuddhi. A lot of, it's the Kundalini is quite strong. You have these really strong experiences, Victoria, where the Kundalini is really moving a lot of things through. So it's probably just another one of those Vishuddhi clearances that are unique, unusual. But I think it's, I would think it's just a lot of Kundalini really pushing through the center here.
And my mentor has been working with me on the Vishuddhi. I've been trying to. I've been having very much difficulty ordering unscented candles or finding them in the stores.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't gotten good candles yet. I just have tea lights. But I've been working with my mentor Abby to on the Vishuddhi, and just tonight she gave me a mantra for it. And when I read the mantra, it was like I felt it, and my body just was really responding just to seeing it and feeling it and reading it. And I did use it. Now that I'm thinking about it, I did say the mantra while I was in this process, because I had my notes right there. So that probably amplified whatever was going on with the clearing of the Vishuddhi, I'm thinking.
That's right. It sounds right, and the vibrations indicate that. And I think just keep working with your Vishuddhi, and it'll you'll have more and more of this happening, but it'll clear. So.
I felt it was very, very supported by the music. The music was just beautiful. Thank you. I'm so glad I was in time for that.
Yeah.
That worked out for you.
Yeah,
I'm glad everybody's enjoying the music, because our subtle system, we'll learn later on, but our subtle system completely resonates with this music. So we get a great response, as well as our personal enjoyment of it. Our subtle system is quite happy with that music. So
is there any more you can say about the central nervous system's role in, I don't know, I just felt like her words tonight, Shri Mataji's words about the central nervous system were just important, really important for me. I don't really know why, but I'd love to know more if there's more about that.
Mark or Kaylin, would you like to answer that?
Kalyan?
Okay. Okay. So the central nervous system is what gives us our awareness, right? So this Sahaja Yoga is all about evolving our state of awareness, right? So there is the common human awareness, and like Shri Mataji explained in her talk, the awareness of our spirit happens at a higher level. So how does that happen? It has to happen because of the awakening of the central nervous system that's within us. So commonly as human beings, we don't feel our different energy centers. But these energy centers are basically plexuses in our nervous system. So it's only through the awakening of this energy, and as it rises up, connects us to the all-pervading power, it really lightens up this entire central nervous system. And then we are able to feel our different energy centers on our fingertips. We are able to feel them in their places. We're able to feel the movement of this energy. So we are at a very different level of awareness. So all that happens through the central nervous system.
in a way,
And
you
it's
can think
also
of it.
beyond
Sorry.
thinking.
No, go. I was just going to say, in a way, you can think of it as your wiring. You know, that electricity needs, you know, it needs something to conduct it. It needs the wiring is the nervous system, basically. So everything you know, all of your awareness is through that system. Anyway, Kalyan, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
No,
was
that
just
that's
going to
exactly
add
right.
one
Go ahead.
point about it's beyond the thinking, right? So the mind that we have that thinks, this awareness of the central nervous system is beyond that. So that's why we are able to tune into this when our mind is silent. So that's all I wanted to
Well,
say.
my mind was really silent. I was just aware of everything that was happening in my body and just watching. It was like, oh my, and just surrendering to it, just being with it. But I still don't get signals in my hands about my chakras, except tonight before coming on the class, my Vishuddhi finger was having a pain in it while I was trying to do stuff and get dinner. And I thought, well, dang, you're going to do it now. And I'm not even in meditation. But when I'm in meditation, shut up. What's going on?
That's okay. It was preparing. It knew that you were going to be in meditation soon, so it was clearing out already. So it's when you're preparing dinner, you're doing a lot of hand washing, washing dishes, preparing, washing your hands a lot, and it's often very good to. It's a clearing, it's a cleansing technique.
Counts. I should really take that finger seriously whenever it shows up, right? Or any of these.
Mhm.
Okay.
Exactly. And don't feel guilty at all. I mean, a lot of it's very common to have to work out on the Vishuddhi a little bit more when we're in America. So we all have that. So yeah, that's okay. Well, thank you so much, Victoria. That's a
See you again.
Yeah, it's great. Good to see you. It's really nice to see all of our returning members. We missed you guys all week. So thank you again for sharing that wonderful experience. It's always wonderful to hear the effect of the music and Shri Mataji's talk and her words on you guys. So because it's just such a wonderful thing, and the vibrations are so strong. So thank you. So okay, well let's hear from somebody else. Do we have else that with a particular question? I see Elaine or Imelda. Would you guys like to share some of your experiences, how your week went? Um, do you have any questions? I guess anything.
Everyone's in thoughtless awareness.
You know, I'm
I can
asking.
just add a basic concept that I've understood from being in Saj Yoga, which is that when you're moving to the right side and there's a bit of an imbalance, you may feel excessive heat. And when you're moving to the left side and there's an imbalance, you might feel excessive cold. So we'll try to warm up the left side if it's getting too cold, and we'll try to cool down the right side when it's getting too hot. So I just thought of that when you're talking about feeling cold, like your teeth chattering, like a chill, that there might be some left side aspect to the clearing in your Vishuddhi. So I'm sure your mentor can help you with that.
That's the candle. Right, exactly. That makes sense. So does anyone else have any questions? Let's see if we have
I
anyone
have a
else.
question for Kerry.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mark.
What do you notice in something that you do during the day that you realize, wow, that's that subtler awareness at work? The way I noticed it when I was preparing myself to go into a
Right.
classroom and feeling a bit nervous about it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things throughout the day, but it's such an amazing guidance system. Like Kalyan was describing how your awareness goes to another dimension when you get vibratory awareness, we call it. And like you could, a song could come on and suddenly your Kundalini comes straight up and starts feeling like it's dancing around up there. And it's not just because you like the song, because you could like a song that doesn't really carry vibrations, but there's certain composers and certain music that just the response is so immediate. It's incredible, and you know it's beyond your mind, because music is beyond the mind in the first place. It has such a direct effect. And it's so automatic. By the same token, I go out for walks, before I get started, and sometimes people roll by with the booming music, and there was one going by, and immediately I felt it here, I felt something here, and then it goes away, but it's so quick, and then another thing is, I really am fond of coffee, but I shouldn't drink it. I know I shouldn't, because my liver tells me right away, I have a little bit of coffee, and then I can feel it. So, I don't do it often, but when I do, I can tell right away that my right side is getting heated up, basically, is what's happening, because it's not that everybody has to say, oh, no more caffeine, but if you're prone to that, then you have to listen to it, and so that happens to me. Yeah, things like that. They're very, or you might feel, if you made a plan and you had to cancel it, you might feel your left vishuddhi a little bit, and you have to say, oh, it's all right, don't go there, and so it's just, sometimes you get to the point where you connect a thought and immediately it catches. And that's how when you're in thoughtless awareness, it's great. But sometimes a specific thought will immediately, give you that feedback. You say, oh, and that's why we say, not that thought, not that thought, Anyway,
Right. Thanks,
I think
Kerry.
after a while we all get that, after if you continue to meditate regularly, you'll start to become more and more sensitive.
Well, we have time for a few more questions. Did you unmute yourself? Would you like to ask a question about I see you had a question in the chat. If you would like to ask it in person, go ahead. Otherwise, I could just read it for you. I think it was if you felt any itching on any of your fingers after the foot soak, do you need to do anything extra or just allow it to pass? That was from Madhu. Who would like to answer that?
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay. About foot soaking.
If you feel any itching on a finger during or after the foot soak, do you need to do anything after extra or just allow it to pass?
You always have that choice. You can decide that you can try to do the diagnosis, look at the photo that shows the hands and the colors and decide that, well, I'm feeling, maybe this one on the left side. So then what does that one mean? Let me check. We have the handout in the resources area. And so then you may want to actually figure out now which chakra is that, and I'm going to put my attention there. Oh, left side. So put my hand here and clear it out a bit. Or sometimes you just notice that, okay, there's some sensation, but I'm not going to not do anything about it right now. Maybe my Kundalini is just going to clear it out effortlessly. So you just, in that, every moment, you can decide whether you want to attend to something. If you're trying to catch a bus, maybe you want to just let that be worked on by the Kundalini and not stop and go, well, let me clear that out for 5 minutes. But there may be other times when you just get in that mood of, I'm curious to see whether I can actually get this to go away now and try clearing it out. And if you have a mentor, they can give you specific, directions. Try this, try this. We have all kinds of simple techniques.
I think Madhu had the same finger as Victoria. Her um, left pointer, which is the left Vishuddhi, and actually both pointer fingers. So center Vishuddhi and then the left Navi. So Kala, what do you have to say about us Americans there with our left Vishuddhis and our Vishuddhis? Do you have any special advice?
Yeah, so Vishuddhi is something that I have had a struggle with myself over the years. I've lived in America throughout, but it's probably not just that, it's also my own personality and growth and so on. Actually, the interesting thing about Vishuddhi is it actually controls our sensitivity in general. So if our Vishuddhi is clear, we are able to feel better. And so the one on the left, we associated with guilt, right? It really has to do with our self-esteem. It has to do with what we tell ourselves. And a lot of times our mind keeps telling things about ourselves. It keeps judging. In a lot of cases, it's completely meaningless. And then we just have to shut it down and say, keep quiet, right? So that tends to help on the left side. And on the right side, it's more like if we are very aggressive in communicating with others and so on, it tends to get out of balance. So it's about being sweet, it's about being nice. So that's it. I think overall, this center is about being in a witness state. So being able to watch, and a lot of times being able to watch is about being able to watch ourselves, our own mind, and our own the talk that keeps going on. It's very interesting when we watch that, and when we kind of take a back seat and just see that as something else from what we are, we can laugh at it, and that's when we kind of get relieved of it. So that's something that I would suggest, apart from the regular meditations, to clear the chakra.
Thanks. Thanks, Kalyan. So we have a question from Dan. Hi, Dan. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, pretty good. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me okay?
Okay. Yep, you're good.
Okay.
So what's your question tonight or feedback?
Hey, just an interesting question since we're talking about some foot soaks there. One of the things that I notice, when we're doing the foot soak is that I have a tendency to want to like wiggle my toes because it feels good. Kind of, you're in, and I know like meditation is trying to like, keep still, kind of, have that, awareness and stuff. But is there anything wrong with that? Because in terms of like hey, this is just a feel-good thing as also a cleansing thing. Is that something I shouldn't do or prevent? Because it just, you have that warm water flowing between your toes. It just kind of, it feels nice while you're sitting there in a meditative state.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I know sometimes, even when I'm sitting there, just to help my attention, I'll if I want to put my attention on a finger, if it's having some pain or tingling, I'll just wiggle it a little bit or massage it a little bit. So I don't think it's a very bad thing, but Mark or Kerry, would you guys like to comment on that?
I've struggled with the toe wiggling for years, Dan. I'm teasing you. Part of the Vishuddhi is playfulness. So if you're kind of having fun and splashing a bit, it's like, yeah, enjoy your foot soak. Your toes are dancing, they're feeling kind of happy. That's a good thing. The toes are just like the fingers. Okay, they represent all the chakras as well. So, they're like, hey, let's use this salt water and get some more stuff out of there. And you just, watch. There's no, oh no, not the toe wiggling. You just notice that, yeah, this is kind of nice. This is kind of fun. And that's another aspect of being a guru, is that you should really allow yourself to enjoy and see that there's this playfulness, this sweetness that's part of us being, especially in this country, where you just have to see the joke. Things are so serious that once in a while it's like, let's just have some fun. And it's part of the meditation as well. When you stop thinking, you laugh even more.
Yeah, how often do we get
Great.
to put our feet in, foot soak water? It feels so good, right? So I think that's great advice, Mark. Thanks. I'll
Well,
start to
the
wiggle
other
my
thing
toes too.
the other thing about a foot soak is it's kind of a clearance in preparation for meditation. So it sounded like a little bit of your concern was I thought I was supposed to be tranquil and
Hmm.
still for meditation, and there's this wiggling going on. You can always be more still after you foot soak as well. So if you're enjoying moving your feet around in the foot soak, probably you're clearing things and having fun, but it's not disturbing the meditation because we kind of use the foot soak as more of a clearance.
Yeah, there was a question in the chat of, to that regard too. Is the foot soak, should you meditate during a foot soak or should you foot soak before meditation? So that kind of speaks to that a little bit. It is more of your chance to start to settle down into your meditation. So that
Yeah,
helps.
sometimes you'd like to. Generally, we foot soak before meditation. It's not like you aren't meditating while you're foot soaking, you are, but you can dispose of your foot soak water and then spend a little bit more time just after the clearance to really go deep. It's an opportunity for you to just get rid of the the clearance that you've gone through and spend some time centered.
Yeah, it's also, I think, a very, nice quality. It's like a childish kind of quality, right? It's like if you had a child and you put some water in front of the child, what's the water kid going to do? Wants to play in the water, right? So I think it's a very good quality to have, nothing to be concerned about. Okay, any other questions, Dan? No, you're good? Okay.
Well, the big
Um,
news is your foot soaking. So
yeah, right.
Right.
that's
Double
that's
thumbs
that's the
up.
punchline. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's so beneficial. So we're actually just
Thank
over a
you.
half an hour, but so we should probably wrap it up tonight and just to kind of keep on our schedule here so we can all get good night's sleep and kind of keep balance. That's the whole theme is keep that balance in the center. So thank you everybody for joining us, and it was so nice to see everybody's faces tonight. And welcome back, everybody. And so we will, hi everybody. So we will see you guys tomorrow night, same time, same place. And still, it's not too late to invite new people. We always have those breakout rooms for anyone new that wants to join us. And just a reminder to do your foot soaks and try to meditate twice a day. So even though you're with us that one time a day, try to meditate a little bit in either the evening or the morning if you're on the other side of the globe. And don't be afraid to reach out to your mentor to ask any questions during the day. All right. With that, we are going to conclude our session. Don't forget to throw out your foot soak water, and we will see you back here tomorrow. And have a nice rest of the day. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.